I guess I.
Is it not linking up or something?
It did not.
Are you doing this evening?
I like having this extra space.
You're signing right there?
That is white.
Yes.
East side. These are the copies I have. If you want to look at that one, you want to look at that one. These are the only ones I have, so you can't have all of them. And then there's that one and that one.
Where's
This
this
one.
at? Well?
This one. This is the well building at the trailer court.
Okay.
So if you guys want to look at those before the meeting, so that we're not taking up time during the meeting. I need those back. Those are the ones I have.
If you bring them over to me, I can make copies and put them in their pack.
Do you have? I know I should have. I know I've been busy. Do you have a thing for writing receipts? Because we're gonna need to write a receipt tonight for that check.
Yeah, I have a receipt.
So you might like say, "Well, we'll get that out as far as that goes. We're gonna need that."
Okay.
So he's definitely bringing it tonight. So,
Okay.
and then I have a contract too, also. You ever adjust that clock so it's right on?
I always do.
I know we got one person missing, so.
We just go on with that one.
I know. All right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
list.
They were on top of your,
I didn't get one.
did you take yours with you
Yeah, I
already?
grabbed it today. Oh, you're saying it's in there still?
Probably.
I grabbed, all right. Sorry, everybody, I missed this. Has everybody else had a chance to read this?
Yes.
Is
I
everybody
make a
approved?
motion, we accept the minutes as printed.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, we're going backward. Nothing. This is how I ended up signing Patty's name. Okay, then we'll move on to approval of accounts payable vouchers.
And that is in the amount of $155,033.08.
I make a motion, we approve the account payable vouchers.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I do have some just one adjustment, in the amount of $200, and that's on Spring Street. They had, in their basement, a piece come apart, and it went all over the basement.
I make a motion, we adjust wastewater for Francis Lonnie.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Then we are going to, you got anything else, Patty, as far as
Nope.
for treasurer's
That's it.
business? And we're gonna move on to ordinances and resolutions, as far as that goes.
Yeah, we do have the salary ordinance.
I emailed back and forth with Nick this morning, and it still doesn't have the stipend in there that it's supposed to have.
What stipend are you talking about? It's the town pays the rest. That's the stipend.
The
Yes.
stipend is a balance that
Is
the employees
balance.
pay the $25 per pay period.
We used to
But
pay
that's-
$1.50 a year, and we graciously decided to do $25 a paycheck
I know, but it still leaves
for
the bill.
the
So
contribution.
did we get, I thought with
And
the
that's-
stipend, what we were gonna do is we were gonna make it into individual health care as far as that goes.
That's
Instead of
not
the
what we're
group
doing.
plan.
We're doing away with the group plan. You guys are supposed to look into individual plans.
But I had a group plan that was comparable to what I had, that was less. And I thought we had decided on that.
But we've never seen any totals
Well,
for it
I
as far
still
as that
have the
goes.
package coming, so we can wait until next month on this. I should
Okay.
have,
Well,
probably
Nick,
have the package
Nick said
then.
to make sure that that stifles in here or that we need to go back over it or whatever. He said if he gets the details that he can
Well,
actually rewrite this as
I
far as that
talked to
goes.
him and he said, if we put a stipend in there and then it goes down, you guys still have to pay us that stipend, and that's not a good thing.
Well, it can be adjusted year to year as far as that goes. As far as what it is, as far as what the health plans and that kind of stuff or whatever, but
What
I
we're
mean,
doing is reimbursing you for your individual plan, is what that stipend's gonna read.
And what's that? If we have two individual plans, it's gonna cost more than one group
No.
plan. It will. It
I've
definitely
already
will.
looked into it, Patty. This should have been done January 1st.
It should have been done November 11th.
Group insurance is based on age. It's very expensive for group
Right.
plans. And the
Right,
individual
but so is
plans are
individual
based
plans.
on salary. It's based on your income. And I was in here December, and I was gonna call the lady in Mentone
You
and
gave
explain it
me
to
this
you.
very same, you gave it to me last year. Why are you trying to take it away from me now?
we're not taking anything
I
away.
don't
We're just doing a
understand.
different health plan than what has been done
No,
in the
you're
past.
taking away my health
We're not-
insurance.
Insurance is extremely
It's
expensive.
not extremely expensive if you've got people on it. With 4 people on it, it was like $1,500.
Okay.
And that's 16,000 a year.
Yeah,
Yeah. The individual plans for an individual is as low as $64 a month. And I think you're gonna see more towns
But that
doing
is
this.
not comparable insurance though.
it's not comparable, and you might see that I won't put up with it.
That can't. And that's it. That was the whole thing, is that it was gonna be comparable insurance.
Okay,
you
and I
talk to
quoted the
anybody-
147 was comparable. It gave you health insurance, it gave you vision, dental, and a $30,000 life insurance policy for $147 a month.
It cannot be a month. It cannot possibly be a month.
Well, we
It
need to.
has to be a week.
We're not going to sit here and argue in front of in front of everyone here as far as that goes. What we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that what everyone here is paying as far as, you know what I mean, for the town and for everything else is not out of line or anything that, so if we need to all get together and we need to get Nick involved as far as that, everybody needs to do their homework as far as I thought you already had 2 health plans picked out last I heard. I didn't know anything about this until I start talking to Nick about the legality of how this is actually worded. So I make a motion that we table this until there can be an actual discussion. We get all the actual figures out and everybody agrees to this. We're not gonna
You
sit.
can just figure it out with the next clerk treasurer is what you'll do.
Well,
you can just take it
like
away
I said,
from
Nick
her.
took and told me, like I said, that it had to have that in here. And
Okay,
all
let's
the
move
other
on to the next one.
places that I've talked to said that this is a very good thing for the employees as far as that goes. And the other thing that we're trying to look at here is giving the part-time people insurance also, so that we can keep these numbers down to where the town can afford it. So, all right, we're gonna table this till the next meeting. Fire and township business. We have no firemen here. Okay. We can't move on to attorney business as far as that goes. Nick is not here. Nick had a family engagement that he had to go to this evening that he didn't know about until Sunday. So we're gonna move on from that. The next one, the new business that we're gonna move on to, the first one that's on here is Blake Walls. You guys signed your paperwork as far as that goes?
You haven't got it back yet?
Well, I have a copy of it as far as that. The next part that we need to do is I need the council to approve me to go to Rock Hill Pinnock and sign my part of it as far as that goes, so that your paperwork will be completely finished.
Okay.
So I need the council's approval so that I can go to Rock Hill Pinnock and sign off on the walls as part of their, go ahead.
Has the other people signed their easement yet?
I called them and left them a message last week as far as that, and I'm starting to put pressure on them now that they need to sign their part as far as that goes. So that's what we're waiting on as far as that. And I did call and talk to him as far as last week, left a message. I didn't get to talk to him, but I did leave him another message, and he's supposed to start poking the owner as far as that goes. So, but we're gonna get your part finalized as far as that, so that your stuff is good, and we can actually probably start moving forward on maybe possibly burying wire on your property and getting that part done.
But what would happen if they didn't sign it?
Then we're gonna get attorneys involved in it, and it's not gonna be, I don't know, I can't really say other than the attorneys are gonna play with it. If it goes,
If they sign it or not, just get her buried.
what's that?
It don't matter if they sign it or not to me, just get her buried.
I know, we're working on it. I appreciate you guys working with us as far as that goes. As far as that, so can I get a vote from the council as far as to approve, go up and sign that paperwork?
I make a motion that we approve for Heath to sign the paperwork.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that takes care of that one. And since Jordan is here, let's move on to Jordan's stuff with the IMPA as far as. Okay, I have a legal contract here that I got from Nick today as far as that goes, that needs to be signed between me and Jordan from J&J Meats as far as that goes. I also need a half down deposit from Jordan.
Hold on, they're large power, and their rates are set up. Large power rates are set up to include a lot of the equipment that if we are going to be that it's.
Did you not read this, Keith?
No, I have not seen that.
Here, read this one here.
But
Sorry, Susan, I didn't
It's all right.
get in your
It's okay.
space. That is the paperwork from IMPA as far as that goes. Jordan from J&J Meats is going to pay for the upgrades to his service as far as that goes, so that he can get 800 amps.
okay, yeah, I have seen this. I
We have seen that one.
didn't recognize with the black and white, but yeah, that it's being it was large power, it was just that it was kind of unusual that for that, and but if he has agreed to that,
Mhm.
then I won't.
He's paying for the upgrades to his service,
Yeah.
so that he can go from 400 amps up to 800 amps.
Right,
as far as that
right,
goes.
yeah.
So I need the town's approval as far as the council's approval, so that I can sign this paper from IMPA to move forward, which states that he's going to pay the $9,800 to do the upgrade to his power, as far as that goes.
I make a motion that we allow you to sign the paper for the IMPA agreement for J&J Meats.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Let's do this one first. Let's see, the 25th,
25th today.
3/25, 25. You want me to sign two of these, Patty, so you have one and I have one?
It would be me and Nick that would need one.
Does IMPA need one?
I have to email this to them tomorrow. There's that one. Okay, now the other one is the agreement between, as far as, do you want to take a look at that one there, Keith? This is the agreement so that we know that Jordan is going to pay us for these upgrades. And he's already agreed to put half down today so that we can make sure we get this project moving. This is the paperwork that Nick drew up and emailed to me this morning. And I just need to sign it. Jordan needs to sign it.
Have you seen this, Susan?
Go ahead and read that one.
Yeah, this is a new one to me, so.
Well, Nick
Yeah.
just wanted to do that so that we have extra as far as, so that we know that Jordan's gonna pay his bill, but like Jordan said, we just turn his power off if he doesn't, so.
Let's not go there.
Yeah, we're not going there, no, it's not gonna happen. You guys wanna make a motion on it?
Make a motion, we, is that an ordinance number or anything on that?
No, it's just an agreement for an electrical upgrade to the service. As far
Okay.
as that, that's what it is, so.
Okay, I make a motion, they sign the upgrade for service with J&J Meats.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jordan, can you come up here at the moment and sign this paperwork, please? I need to print on that one too.
You want to check now or after the meeting?
That is up to you. She's gonna write you.
After the meeting, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Anything you need from me at the moment?
Nope, that should be it. I'm just gonna sign both these.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
I'm sorry you had
Thank
to
you.
wait for so long on this.
Thank you.
Sorry, buddy, I'm not real fast. There's that one, and then there's that. So that takes care of this one. Okay, you guys have the quotes out. Let's go ahead and move on to the well building quotes right now. We've got three different quotes here. One is, what is the total
Millwood,
on that one?
Steve's Roofing, and
Yeah, we've got
Mike Neely.
Mike Neely Roofing from Ligonier. We have Steve's Roofing from there in Warsaw. We also have Millwood Roofing as far as that goes. The one from Millwood is $22,461. I don't have it memorized. Sorry.
And I just,
The Steve's Roofing one is $12,000. It's far as that goes. And then the one from Mike Neely Roofing is $7,430. So do we have any?
I'm just trying to figure out what the differences that would be for that much difference in
Well,
cost.
Mike Neely Roofing is a small roofing company from Ligonier. He uses a couple Amish guys as far as that goes, and they're just a smaller company as far as that. I talked to all of them. They're all supposed to be quoting the exact same thing. I did not get to take Mike up there. He showed up on a day that I wasn't here. I took Steve out there, or Logan from Steve's Roofing, and then I also took Millwood out there, and we went over it. It's supposed to be all new steel roof, all new steel siding as far as that goes, so we don't have any more problems with vinyl siding being broke by kids throwing balls and stuff at it. I did make it perfectly clear to all of them that I want that the eaves are rotten on that building, that I want the deck stripped off, on any repairs done as far as I don't want the rot covered up. I want it fixed before the new roof and everything is put on. And we also want to put a new door on there too. The door is in some disrepair. If you don't lift up on it, it won't latch and the door is unlocked. So, I mean, if we have somebody that's in there and doesn't realize that, they might leave that building left unlocked. The inside of the building is up to code as far as that. Richard has already gone in there and repainted all the pipes and the plumbing in there, made it look pretty. IDEM is happy with that. They have pictures of that. The only thing left on that IDEM report or violation that we have is that we need to get this roof and this siding repaired on that building. So normally I would say I would like to see the middle quote as far as that, so that we don't use the cheapest or we don't use the most expensive. But then again, it's up to this council. It's not up to me. That is a pretty, I mean, is a big price difference when it comes to stuff. But then I understand. I did ask Mike Neely, make sure that he is completely insured as far as that goes. I know the other two are, because I do, you know, I know both of them and have done business with them for years as far as with other contractors.
The thing is, with Steve's Roofing, all this is laid out.
Yep.
Of what he's doing, where it's just where they kind of obscure on the Mike Neely's, that so that we know what we're going to be getting with Steve's Roofing. That I think that would be worth the basically the $4,500 extra to make sure we get the right job done.
Okay.
I'm all right with that.
You guys would like to move forward with this?
I make a motion we accept the bid for Steve's Roofing to repair the well house.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do we need to, just for clarification, why don't we all
You need a
sign?
copy of that?
Let's all sign this one right here.
You need a copy of that.
Yeah. Well, we'll all sign that one, and then that way she'll have a copy of it, and then
Okay.
I can get in contact with him as far as that goes, so that we can be moving forward on this. I don't think that one had a deposit on it as far as that goes, so he's not well. No.
We don't do deposits. We
Okay.
don't do deposits. We do it when it's done.
When it's done, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that puts Neely out then anyways, because his required a 50% deposit. So, which I do in all my business. I don't trust people anymore.
So,
So that is that one. And the other one that I have here is Richard got us quotes for a new lawnmower as far as a new push mower for this summer. Last year he used his push mower to do a lot of the detailed stuff as far as that goes. The one that's up here at the park building, as far as that, is in quite a bit of disrepair. So I'd like to make a motion that we purchase him a new mower.
push mower rather
It's a
than,
push mower.
okay, because it sounds like it's a super recliner. So $800 is that's a quite a
It's
bit.
a direct replacement for the mower that we have. It's not anything more, it's not anything less. It is a direct replacement, And on top of that, Hoffman's is even giving us a discount.
There is a discount
as
on
you
there
can
too,
see
yes.
on the paper in
Yes.
front of you.
I think that was my paper.
Right, yeah, you just got one, you guys got one last year, so.
Well, we paid.
I also took the town's current mower that is over in Remembrance Park. That mower is 25 years old. It is time for a replacement.
This is a brand new one.
The quote you have in front of you is for a brand new mower, right out of the box.
Go to Walmart, and get one a lot cheaper.
No, ma'am.
Just doing detail, come on.
It's
Who
not
spends
deep.
$800 on a dumb?
We spent $1,200 on an edger last year, I think.
Well, that was
for
just
doing
dumb on your
Walmart.
part.
Well,
You
I'm
go
sorry.
buy one
Well,
cheaper
I'm
there,
sorry.
too.
That we get really good service. If we buy from Walmart, we're not gonna get we
A
gotta
mower's a
find somewhere
mower.
to get service, and that and the quality of service is questionable. That with Hoffman's, that
I'm sorry,
we're gonna get it right now and
You're
right
just
away
detailing.
for
It's
us.
not like you're mowing the whole
That they,
town.
They take care of us forever.
yeah,
As far as that goes. I mean, Richard's been
that's
breaking.
one thing. If you buy from
So,
them, you get service
right.
from them.
Well, we didn't even get our big mower from them, and they're still servicing it, taking care
Actually,
of
yes,
it. So.
we did.
We did? Okay, I thought it
Yes.
didn't. So
That
that
was
one,
a different
that was a
mower.
different mower. Okay.
Yeah.
You
So
spend $800 or more, but not cover her health insurance. Get her
she
something
has that
she-
as a different topic. I'm
It's the
sorry.
same topic to me. It's money being spent. and
It's,
You should take care of your employees. It'd be cheaper, but you're gonna pay more for out of your pocket.
yeah. When I had dealt for health insurance personally, it was sticker shock. So, but yeah,
I make a motion that we purchase a new lawnmower from Huffman Implement.
okay.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. The other thing while we're on Richard's stuff, we still need to make it public or whatever and advertise our lawn mowing position for town as far as that goes. Because the grass is gonna start growing here real soon as far as
Yes.
that, so.
way this year is going, it's gonna be
It's gonna
sooner than later.
Sooner than later, as far as
The grass
that goes.
is growing.
So we need to advertise that position. I don't know if we wanna advertise it in Ink Free and Times Union. Is that where you'd like to advertise it, Patty?
Yeah, that's right.
I would,
Okay. Can we make sure we get it in there, both of them, for like a good week or something like that, as far as that goes?
Yes.
It's just gonna be the part-time, 30 hours a week, as far as that lawn mowing position. Does anybody else have any new business they'd like to discuss?
And then this is fall under new or old,
Which one do you got?
about the live streaming of the meetings.
You can go ahead with that. That is sort of new. I mean, it is, yes, we got to
Alright.
be compatible with that so
I
we don't
had
get
read the
sued.
bill and I thought I understood that we had to live stream the meetings. And Patty didn't think we had to, and I went and double checked. There's a law firm down in Indianapolis. It's the Kroger Gardus Regis LLP Government Practice Group. I talked to two gentlemen down there. I talked to a Brian Bosma and also Zachary Nicely, and they both confirmed that we have to live stream our meetings. Also, he sent me this. It's the new live electronic transmission requirements, and it says what does the act require? The act requires governing bodies to provide a publicly accessible platform of the agency's choice, providing the following: live transmissions of the governing body's meetings and archived copies of the live transmission with access links to the meeting's agenda, minutes, and memorandum if any are used. So they pretty much confirmed that we have to do this. And
Unless the small town does not have capability, and then it
That's,
can be
no, nope.
live, it
Nope.
Is
can
this the
be,
guy that you're talking about?
It is.
Yeah, Phil, you wanna stand up and explain all this?
If you have internet access in your building, you have to live stream. If you don't, and there's an issue with your internet at the time, then you're allowed to record it and upload it immediately. But if you have internet access, you are required to actually live stream.
The only exception to that is if you have technical troubles.
Mhm.
Where is it live streamed?
Yeah, that's my question, where can you see it? And you just now realize that, how many years we had internet, and now we're discussing it?
No,
Well, it's a new
It's
state
a
law
new
as
law.
far as that goes. So we're trying to get up to code on that as far as
Takes
Nick has
effect
been
July
trying to catch up.
1st.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's been
Yeah.
trying to catch up on that. Same with some of the Facebook stuff that's going on and everything else as far as what's legal, what's not, as far as that goes. So that's what we're trying to work through. We're trying to get sort of up to date to make sure that we're not doing something we're not supposed to or that we're doing everything by the book. So
No, I think, you wanna explain how didn't you put some links on the Facebook page?
Yeah, and I, since the attorney's not here, I have a question for him, but, which can be asked later. I was asking another town, and they used to do Facebook, and then they were required to, archive it. So I don't know if that's required anymore or not, so that's something you need to ask him, if the Facebook pages would have to be archived.
Yes,
But
they
your
do have
platform
to be
could done
archived.
as a live stream to
After 90
YouTube.
days, they have to be
Where
archived.
is it streamed to?
right now it's just being put on YouTube, isn't it, Patty?
Right, yeah.
So
We've
right
got a
now
YouTube
you can
page,
go.
and it goes
You can go
straight
to
to YouTube.
YouTube.
A lot of stuff on YouTube.
You go right to the Etna Green page on
So the town
YouTube.
doesn't have a Facebook page then, right?
Right.
Not an official one, no. Weren't you in the process of trying to start a new one up as far as
Yeah.
that goes? But you guys all got to coordinate to do that. So
Yeah.
right now, if anybody wants to watch the meetings as far as the way they are now, they are posted on YouTube as far as that goes. If people want to go back and see what somebody said or what happened, or if you were sick and couldn't make it or something like that.
So just look for the town of Etna Green or Etna Green.
As
Etna Green.
on
It's a
YouTube.
big green E, and you just select it and
Is that
get
on
right
our
in there.
website, or is that just on the YouTube thing?
We don't have a website.
No, or on the one that's on the internet, the town thing. No, not that one. The other one. The town code and all that stuff is on.
There is a town website.
Yeah, that website, the town website. Sorry, I used
Oh,
the
the
wrong
town
words.
website?
Town
No,
website.
that's
It's not coordinated with that.
no, it's not
Okay.
coordinated with that.
So
We have a town website?
yes,
We do have one?
EtnaGreenIN.com.
Wow. EtnaGreenIN.com. And everybody can be on it?
everybody can get on that one. Yes, I think it does need to be updated again as far as that goes, but it has descriptions of town stuff and yes.
You click on the ordinance. If you had a question about an ordinance, you can go in and look at the ordinance itself.
I think we need to discuss this with Nick, our lawyer.
Yes.
That get clarifications that before we try it, because there's a difference here that we need to sort out.
Well, we just gotta make sure we're legal. So yes, we need to get up
And
to date and make sure we're
from
doing
everything I've
properly.
understood, we're legal. It's just that so it's
Right here's
yeah.
what the lawyer sent me, and right here's House Bill number 1167 that states.
Yeah, but that's not our lawyer.
Did you
that's
check with State Board of Accounts? They're the ones that do it.
Yeah.
State Board of Accounts.
Well, if they
They're the
told you
ones that
that,
give
I
the-
talked
give the
straight to
ruling.
them, and they told me, that's why I went and got all this equipment. So we're gonna throw this equipment away?
I think it has
to
to be
do-
used in. It
to
all
get
has to
more
be. No, I
equipment
think
for
it has
live
to be
streaming?
used together, or to use it together, or something like
Well, then
that.
the
So
State Board of Accounting told you wrong.
we'll just-
The
we will
State
look
Board of
into it.
Accounts
Let's
are
say,
the
hey,
big-
let's
are
all
the
not argue.
State Board
number
of
one rule.
Accounts.
I'm not gonna get into it.
We're,
They told
we're
you
not going to
wrong.
argue during a meeting. We will take this up with Nick as far as that goes. We have other things that need to be talked about with Nick also. So let's move on to old business. Do we have any old business that we want to discuss today?
That was it.
That was it? Okay. Do you have any employee comments from Mr. Richard?
Yeah, I wanted to, review some, well, I don't know about review, but talk about some of the repairs that I see around town, that are needed. And I don't know how much precedence we're gonna put on this one, but the, concession stand at the park
Yeah, we went and looked at it. It has squirrel infestation.
has squirrel damage and animal damage.
Yes.
On the top part of the concession stand, which is where the announcers and scoreboard and controls and everything are at. There's a lot of damage to that up there that needs some repair. Let's see. Also, the roof on the grandstand over in Remembrance Park is needing some repair.
We have looked into that
Keith
one.
and I have been talking about that one. Let's see. Oh, and the electrical issues that we had over there as well.
Right, that needs to be fixed as far as, yeah.
I called M&D Electric and they're supposed to be coming sometime next week to talk to me about that and find out what's going on with the issues that we had over there when the lights were off in Remembrance Park for a while. The reason that happened is because somebody drilled right into the power wire over there and shorted a bunch of things out. So that's why the lights were off over there for a while, and we're working through getting everything fixed. And then on the back side of Town Hall here, on the roof line, there's some soffit fascia. I'm not sure what I would want to call it.
Terminology, it needs replaced, yes.
Yeah, it needs to be replaced. That's something that needs to be done this summer. Oh, let's see, what else did I have? Got to start working on potholes around town.
You'll get there.
We got a busy summer.
Yep, we do. So,
Probably the paving companies probably haven't started with the summer, the asphalt yet. It's probably still the winter asphalt, and it doesn't hold as well, and it's twice as expensive. So it's not worth starting the potholes until we can get the
I'm waiting for that last
Good,
frost.
good stuff.
okay.
Yeah,
And
then
also Richard is full-time now. He has put in his time as far as that goes, so I appreciate the work and everything that Richard's been putting in. He's been learning a lot and trying to take care of everything, so. Does anybody,
patience with me.
does any other council members have any comments that they'd like to talk about?
Do you have something to say, or just come to visit? Okay, I just want to double check, make sure we're not
Yeah,
missing
you'll probably be
anything.
seeing more of me.
Okay,
The business development managers are going to certain towns and going to council meetings and stuff. However,
Very
if
good.
there's any questions you have, we can try to answer them.
you said I think you said earlier you had a meeting that went well, that we're progressing.
Through the OCRA process.
Good, with Oakcrest, yeah. Good, I'm glad to hear that. Other than that, I don't have anything.
The only comments I have is the park project is moving along as far as that goes. I've got 5 bidders on it as far as that. They are supposed to be turning this up in bids next Monday. So there will be another meeting here next Monday as far as that goes to open up those sealed bids and start looking at that project as far as that. And hopefully we can keep moving forward with the park project as far as that goes.
4
So-
o'clock, is it?
That moving, yeah, is 4 o'clock. As
That's
far
what
as
I
that.
thought I read.
Yeah,
I just want to
on
make
next-
sure.
Yep, next Monday, as far as that, it is open to the public as far as that goes. If anybody wants to show up and, meet all our contractors as far as that goes. The decision won't be made at that meeting as far as what's going on. We still have some application process to go through the K-21 Foundation or whatever, and that computer system is down until April 1st. It's supposed to be back up, so me and Chris got a lot of work to do from Commonwealth as far as to finish off so that we can move forward on this project. But everything is looking really good as far as that. So we are going to get hopefully a new walking park this summer for everyone here in town as far as that. So everybody can enjoy that, and kids and everybody, community and stuff like that. So that's all I really have for the moment. Does anyone else here have any comments or questions that they would like to talk about or talk to the council about? Let's start at the front and then we'll go ahead.
Regarding my electrical issues, is that old business, new business?
I called down to Input and I talked to them. Mike is supposed to be getting some numbers around. Where is your electrician at on your end?
I'm just waiting to hear what,
Did you get quotes back to the pole where we talked about?
not yet.
Not yet.
He's waiting to find out what you guys
as far as Mike said, that he thinks that's a great idea, as far as what me and you discussed, as far as dropping a pole on the property line right next to the other pole. I told him you probably don't want to get rid of that one because of the light on there.
Well, that's Mel, and I talked to her. She's in favor of, she wants that cut off at about 4 foot tall. So what other pole you wanna put in there is wherever you
So
want.
we can go on the property line next to that pole, new power to there, and you want to bury it from there all the way to both houses, or just
Yeah,
yours?
She wants to see what the numbers look like first.
Okay, so she's good with it
But
too.
yeah, but I'm concerned about the cost of the underground wire and everything.
I understand.
Is that gonna be all on the two of us, or?
If you, like what we talked about, if you want to do it up to the pole as far as that goes, and then IMPA comes over to the pole, you would pay for either way it goes to that pole. You're going to be paying for it. So I mean, the original quote that I have here was at $2,500, or 2,400 or something like that, to put a pole on your property and string new wire over to your existing riser, as far as that goes. So if we, and I agree with you, I don't like that idea either. So I like the new, what we were looking at. If we can come straight across the alley, drop a pole there, bring new service over to there, and then we can, if you want it buried, I'm assuming it'll be cheaper for your contractor to bury it from the pole to both houses. So right now, IMPA is just working on getting a price to put the new pole in. That little jaunt of wire is not going to be much. So that part they're probably almost going to do for free. You know what I mean, as far as that. So the really cost is going to be burying it.
Well, see, the problem I have, and this is something you and I discussed, is this whole issue started out, it's the town's problem. Because the pole's been perfectly fine for 50 years. And now it's leaning,
I know, and
the two services are
it's
on the
this
east side of the
repair,
pole.
it's pulling on the Heckman's house. I
Right,
understand it's
exactly.
pulling on
So-
their service.
so
So
there's
that's
an
what I'm
issue.
saying. I think from talking to Mike or whatever, like I said, dropping a pole where me and you talked about is going to be cost free for you as far as that. That's going to, we'll say that's our maintenance as far as we'll put a new pole in there to take care of, because we're fixing 3 services, because we've got yours, Mel's, and then we also have the Heckmans, which is pulling their riser off their house too. So I don't think that's going to be anything. So if you want to, like I said, if you want to get me the number and figure out on your end to that pole, if you want to do that.
Okay.
If you don't want to do that, then I will take and get with Mike and say, okay, we'll go from that pole and go 2 new risers, 1 to Mel's, 1 to yours, because hers is in the tree. So we sort of need to do something about that, or the tree needs trimmed or something. And you talked about putting the riser on the other side of your house. So I would assume that one is going to come in cheaper than the 2,500, because we're going to eat the pole as far as that, because we need to do something and address that pole that is there.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just, me and you keep coordinating, and so we can move forward with this as far as just like the other people we have here with electrical projects. I'm not trying to put anybody off, trying to make sure everybody gets good power as far as that goes, and they get their stuff taken care of. Next question. Yes.
John Collins, as you know, I'm going back to Etna Green.
Yes.
I just bought the house at 137 East Pleasant. But, I have been noticing a lot of things on Facebook about the water at Etna Green. I was wondering if you could comment, and did we get the rust issue, is the iron problem?
The problem with the water right now is that we have a lot of iron in it. The water is perfectly clean to drink as far as that goes. I've been on the phone with IDEM. I talked to Josh from Ashbury as far as that. What we did is we ran on the well at the park for a month to basically do a water study to take and keep track. Normally we switch from one well to the other as far as that. We run one well for a week, then we switch back to the other one. So what we've done is run on the park well up there for a month to see what that well is putting out. That well puts out 3 times as much rust as the one at the trailer court. So the problem is now we have our whole system's full of rust as far as that. Nobody likes it. I don't like it. It's in my coffee too as far as that goes. I understand. It's clean to drink, and it's fine with IDEM as far as there's nothing in there, the rust. There's no specification for rust when it comes to the water that's put out. So all the other stuff in the water is fine. So now what we need to do is we need to have a company come in, and we need to spend the money and rechlorinate that well and see if we can fix that well and straighten it up as far as that. So the well at the trailer court, if we just run on that one, that well is nice and clean. It only requires 1/3 of the amount of chlorine, and we got water. So Richard has been working on flushing the lines here in town. Everybody needs to sort of sort of flush your own lines at your house as far as that goes. If you're really having problems, you can get a hold of town. We can have Richard come out and actually flush your line as far as that goes. Hopefully everybody doesn't call him all at once, you know what I mean, as far as that. But we do have some, like Keith said, Keith's at the end of a road. When you're at the end of a line, that's sort of, the dirt goes that way, you know what I mean, when all this happens. I apologize to everyone. We are on top of it, and we're trying to work on it and address this situation. I think while this is going on, we're going to stick to the well at the trailer court so that we have clean water, and let's get the rust out of the system as far as that goes until we can rechlorinate the well up at the park. Or I don't want to talk about the other. If that doesn't work, it's going to be more expensive. So does that answer your questions there, Sean? Or okay.
Are we still doing week to week, from one
We're-
week to another week, or should we go back to,
We're-
at one time I know we used to do just like a weekend on well 2 and then the rest of the time on well 1.
Right, we're
So-
going back to the trailer court well for right now. As far as that,
almost continuously.
almost
just-
continuously, and IDEM is aware of the situation. I talked to Sophia as far as that goes, and not through email, literally on the phone, and tried to explain to her what's going on, and that well needs to be cleaned. If that doesn't straighten it up, we're going to be looking at
Probably pulling the well.
pulling the well and having
Yeah,
to
that's
gonna
very
be bad.
likely. But the thing is, by switching and going with the other well, with the trailer court well number 1,
Mhm.
that will pretty much take care of the problems for the time being,
Yes.
until we can get something done with well number 2.
Yes, and we're
That will help with the problems.
we're in the process of trying to get grants and this kind of stuff so that we can work on the structure here in town as far as that goes. We know there's problems with the water, we know there's problems with the electric, and we know there's problems with the sewer plant. So let's hope the sewer plant don't have any big problems, because none of us want to see that part. So go ahead, Dave.
How often is the water tested here in town?
Every day,
Yes,
Daily.
every day,
7 days a week, 365 days a year.
every day.
I know you say that rust is okay, but I've seen pictures and I don't care if somebody tells me it's good to drink, I'm not drinking.
Oh, I completely understand
know.
as far as that goes. And
So,
a lot of
it's
people here in town have water
scary.
filters, and I've seen pictures of the water filters as far as that goes. Like I said, I can see the tinge of it just in my coffee maker as far as that goes. I mean, it used to be when they switched on the weekends, I would see it in my toilets across the street. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you go in there and look in the toilet and you're like, what happened in here? You know what I mean? Flush it 4 or 5 times and it goes away. So I'm hoping different people with older systems, it's going to be different around town as far as that goes. I hope it's not ruining people's filters in their fridges. I hope it's not ruining coffee makers. I apologize. I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm working with all these different people, you know what I mean, as far as that goes, to address the situation. And it's not like I'm taking a blind eye to it and saying, oh, no, I don't, So I understand. And like I said, part of it is the stuff is out in the system now. So part of it is to go around, open up everything at your house and just sort of flush it and let it run for an hour. You know what I mean? Or let it, maybe not an hour, maybe 20, I know.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes.
My
But
bill will be $600.
Yeah.
well, I'm just saying.
You don't need to
well, a lot
you
of
don't
us-
need to put 1,000 gallons out.
Right, but we don't all want to do it at once. Just like when Richard did all the fire hydrants in here in town, he could only do 3 at a time, and then the tower out here is half empty, so we got to wait for it to fill back
How many
up. So
fire hydrants do we have in town?
48.
48, and we got one,
That's why it took a week.
and we got one that doesn't
That's
work.
a long time to go with it. That's a long time to go
Only
without doing
one?
laundry.
Just the one across the street
never
doesn't
used to
work.
take
That's
2
it.
weeks.
That's doing pretty good.
Yeah, but still,
Previous people,
But
I
it's-
never had to go 2 weeks.
Once he gets it down pat,
Oh,
he'll.
'cause I
it'll
can't go
be
that
3
long
days
without
again.
laundry.
Yeah.
no, I understand. I understand.
Well, I will say this much, and I don't know, I cannot say anything bad about my predecessors, the people before me. I will not say anything bad about them because I don't really know them.
Oh, I'm not saying that
Well,
about anybody.
me and
just
Richard
didn't
have
I
want
want
talked-
to
it to
introduce
so long.
myself to everybody here. My name is Richard McManus. It is not Barry Baker. It is not Andy Cook. I am not those people.
Nobody said you
I am
were.
not the same as them. I do not have the same knowledge those gentlemen do.
He's in training, so
I am in training.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Please bear with
He's in
me.
training.
I am trying.
And I had a concern. So it wasn't until my neighbor had problems with their power pole, we just nonchalant, and I'm not an electrician, so I shouldn't even have to look, it should be proper. I go back and where our meters are, it's not grounded.
right.
Why isn't somebody looking at all this?
It's not fixed yet?
Oh, I haven't looked now, I'm saying
It
it
should
should've
be
never,
fixed.
It's
it
fixed.
should've never happened.
It's
Right.
And it's probably been that way since Scott's lived there. I mean,
there's a,
so
there's-
don't people look at that?
there's a lot of disrepair in our electrical system right now as far as that goes. There's a lot of poles that need to be fixed. There's a lot of, me and Richard once or twice a week go out and fix a fuse that blows on somebody's house for no reason. You know what I mean? We're trying to go through.
The grounding is a basic.
I know it is a basic as far as that. When you go down to the trailer court, that's another whole. Are you in the trailer court? Okay, that's another whole thing. The trailer court is responsible for a good portion of that
You're
down there.
responsible for that pole and
For the-
being grounded.
And
not
being
them.
grounded, but there's a lot of them that have been
Not them.
cut. You know what I mean? By people weed eating, people digging around them and stuff
Steel
like
and
that.
It's just not hooked up.
Okay. Well, I know it's one of them things where, like I said, just like Richard said, this is my first year and a half in here, and I'm trying to address this stuff and trying to get on top of it. So,
And I'm just
Right.
more concerned for other people that don't even know what to look for. Like,
right.
it can ruin your appliances. It can
Yes,
do
it
a lot
can.
of things.
Yes, it
So
can.
I
Yep.
just feel like somebody should
There's-
check them out,
What we would like to
especially
do,
the elderly.
what we would like to do as far as me and I've been teaching Richard this as far as that goes, most of those down there have about 6 meters on each pole as far as that goes. We went down there when it was 0 one day, pulled the cover off the whole thing. Somebody was having problems with power, and what the problem is a lot of them terminals will loosen up in there. So then your power acts a little goofy. So we went through that whole panel box. We tightened every lug in the whole thing as far as that goes. So we know those 6 customers are good. Throughout the summer, we need to
Okay.
either the maintenance at the trailer court needs to do this, or when Richard gets time, I know. But we're working on this stuff,
Okay,
so
I
and we
just
need to
didn't
know about it. So I appreciate you bringing it to a council meeting. So
Yeah, that's a lot of it though, is the trailer court owns a lot of that,
You guys own the pole, that's all I care about. I don't care about the trailer court, you guys own the pole and for it to be grounded, that's it.
Okay.
Nothing on the trailer court there, that's all you.
the ground wires are things that thieves steal, and there's been problems with that in the past too.
Well,
So that's
as long as
copper.
she's hanging there.
It's copper. I know, but I'm just saying. Yeah.
Mine don't look like it's copper.
Okay. Well, it should be.
Maybe it is, I don't know.
Okay. Does anybody else have any
Going
other
back to
questions?
your well situation, is there any way to flush that well when you turn it on, flush it before it actually goes into the system?
No, it needs to be chlorinated. It needs to be cleaned as far as that goes. I understand what you're saying. And the Bacons have a problem with it too. Every time we switch, it completely plugs their filter because they're at the end of the line right there in between the 2 wells. So all the dirt, when it switches from one to the other, goes right to their house. So I understand, and the same thing, with our dead ends on these waters, and when this stuff happens and the dirt is in the system, and we're trying to work on it. We've got a very old system, and we are aware of what is going on. So
I'm just looking at when you switch wells, especially if that's a problem, able to flush it, whether it's out on the ground
I
or,
know, I understand.
just
Yep,
to
yep.
clean it out before it actually gets.
The problem with that though sometimes too is it's like flushing hydrants the wrong way. So if we release water here,
Right.
it sucks dirt from all the other lines and it brings it and it moves it around in the system.
It also takes a chance of it losing pressure in one part of the system, which would mean having boil orders. So we don't want that.
We're not doing that. No, we're not.
So we need to get the Peerless or whoever it is in the professionals to work with it and of what needs to be done with the well, and have it done right the first time, or done right now.
Go ahead, Dave.
I know there's a lot of rust in the system because a month and a half or so ago, wasn't it, Patty, that I said my lines were frozen up? And it turned out that it wasn't frozen at all. Richard was working on a leak over here on Spring Street somewhere.
Right.
A chunk of something either broke loose and stuck in my meter or something.
Yes.
Because whatever it was, my water got down to a trickle.
Mhm.
I had it wide open, man. So I shut everything, and came back down here, and when I went back home, I opened it up, and I started the trickle, and it went, and it was coffee coming out of there for about
Honestly,
5 minutes.
You should have, there should have been a boil order with your situation with what happened, because that was,
That,
I know,
happens
but
all the time,
I
a
know,
little-
it does happen,
little-
but nobody,
yes,
no
it
resident
does happen.
deserves that, as far as
But
that
it,
goes.
but it blew out.
That's your
yeah,
job
we
to
got
put
it
in the
fixed
boil
up
order.
right away.
Right, but
You
for,
guys need to put
right.
out the boil orders
Right.
when that happens. If you just said that, that concerns
I'm
me.
saying it's sad, it's a bad thing that happens here in town, and we're working on trying to fix the system.
I don't
as far
drink
as
it,
that
I
goes.
just refuse, so it's all good.
Right.
I'm just trying to fight for other people because it's wrong, you know?
Okay, does anybody else have any other?
I
Make
do
a,
have one more thing. There are some trees over in the park that are gonna get in the way of the walking track.
Mhm.
I'd like to get those taken care of.
those ones that we went and looked at the other day?
Yes.
Yeah, so with it, those do need to be cut, because we'll be charged for those if they're not. So, and we also need to get a hold of whoever the Comcast or whoever's line that is across the park there.
Oh, yes.
That line needs to be taken up as far as that, because the trucks are gonna get into that one too, where we're gonna put the handicap thing in there, so.
Yes.
You make sure you put that on your list of things to do.
Thank you for reminding me
Mhm.
of that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, maybe we could've got a mower a little cheaper, but I applaud the board's decision to stick with Hoffman and in-town business. It's right here local. That means a lot.
Does.
When you support the people that are in our town.
I would rather support Patty and give her health insurance.
She has.
Well,
health
she's gonna
insurance.
get
That's on
that.
the top
She-
of the
they-
There's
list.
gonna be no doubt about that.
But
So-
is it
She's
good
gonna
enough
see-
for her?
We're
That's
gonna
the
keep her with
question.
health insurance.
Obviously, it's not good enough. She wants to quit over it, so I feel like
No, that,
you should.
We're not taking health insurance away from them.
that's,
We are not gonna argue at this town council meeting about that. Does anybody else have anything else to say?
I guarantee you, she won't lose her health insurance.
I'm not sure on that one.
Tomorrow.
There is a, large trash, collection tomorrow.
I'm talking about the houses that need cleaned up.
That's another one I know we need to get on, the blight that's here in town. That we have a lot of junk houses in town, and that's another thing that I know, I understand.
When does the town opt to bring in a street sweeper?
We normally only do that for like the 4th of July for the parade, as far as that goes. I know we got this old guy that's been sweeping the street out here and cleaning up all the stuff. I appreciate that, Dave, that you, I appreciate that you've been doing that for the town.
I gotta tell you, right here uptown.
I know.
Every day, picking up nails, screws, bolts.
I know, I do
all
too.
that stuff there on the shoulder where I normally park.
It's all our contractors driving through town, I understand.
But no, there's a lot of this, like tar or rubber or something
That's
all
the
over
sealer
this
from the
intersection.
roads.
It's all over, right in
That's
this
the sealer
intersection.
from the road cracks. That's exactly what that is. I know exactly what you're talking about.
All right.
This old guy is 73 years old.
I know, and he's doing a great job. I appreciate what you do, Dave. Thank you. I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Dave, do you remember when we used to stand on each side of the hill over there and bounce Super Bowls back and forth to each other on each side? I remember when Super Bowl first came out and we did that, we found that Kmart stood there on the road and bounced all the way to the other end.
I've been sick, so let's not do that part. There we go. Yeah, we gotta get some going. We gotta make sure it's right as far as that goes. So yes, and I'd like to get that
Oh, my
Facebook
guy
thing
worked
up to where it's
worked for D&D
yeah, as
for
far
10
as that
years.
goes. That was one of the
Do
things.
his own thing.
Where do you
Actually,
You guys are gonna, we're gonna have to introduce you to Patty, and you guys are gonna have to get along, and.
Okay, so how much do you wanna put down?
50%.
Oh, okay. All right, do
A
you-
little wrinkly, sorry.
yeah, that's fine. You don't need a receipt for that, do you?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, please.
yeah, we got a weekend.
Unless you're gonna pay for the,
Oh, really? Is it
I think
nylon?
that's the thing.
Or cotton?
Facebook doesn't
Yeah,
do it
I
on its
use
own,
nylon.
you have to pay
Nylon
somebody
for
for
the
it.
system.
I think YouTube does do it though, but I don't know how long it stays on there. Look, it can stay
Should've
there.
come on,
You
got
can get
ours.
rid of it, so.
No, I'm not gonna take it. I can't reach up there.
Who's responsible then for the
My
meters?
tie off is right here.
Is that all me or?
We'll bring it. No, you're talking for your house?
Yeah,
No, we bring you the meters.
that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
You gotta, we bring you the box
Mhm.
and the meter as
Right.
far as that's our, cause we wanna get you the newer style one that has everything that goes in it. Then you pay for the riser as far as that, the wires from your panel box all the way up, give us a foot and a half hanging out up there. And then, yes, if we're gonna string it in the air, then that'll
What's
be
that?
on us, but you still, like I said, the upgrade
It's
is still gonna be.
slowly
I
healing, but
just
it
wanted
is
to make
healing,
sure
so
the
that
meter
it's just
The
is-
meter
uh,
base, yes,
taking
it has to
time
be
that
one of the
day, but
exceptional boxes.
Right.
but
So, and I need to know
I
on that
started
too,
out
'cause I'll have
with,
to have Richard get it ordered. So
one
if you're gonna do it on both houses. 'cause
massive,
hers is
No,
probably
no,
100
they
the other-
moved
the-
it,
the
they
other
were
buildings
where they
won't
had
have-
sewed it up and it's
Won't have a
open,
meter on it.
and they,
Okay.
and
It's
it's
all gonna be
down
fed from
to
the house.
two.
Okay.
It looks
So-
like they call it like
Yeah, do you guys
eyeglasses
have the-
that they have to
do you
cover up.
guys
There
get the
was
style that
three,
has the-
with one that was,
the extra
came over
breaker
with a
in
little
it?
temple with
Okay.
the hole. And it's practically gone now, that
I'm
it
trying to
has a
learn
little
all
scab
all
on it.
different
That's
things,
gonna,
all
They put a
pieces
thing
and
on there to
everything,
give you a
trying to get
transthesis
along.
that
Good
will
luck
come
with that.
after this is healed completely. I can't even think
Yeah,
about putting
me, like I said,
what
just
they
give me
call
call when you got more
shrink
information, let me know.
on
More
my
than
leg,
you
which
talk,
will,
you know
it's
what
like
I mean?
a sock,
That's
with
what we're gonna
rubber
get done.
socks that will
As far as that
make
goes,
the
I mean, it's
form
like
the end of my leg. I gotta get that
Yeah, I
done
know, that's.
before I can be,
But that's gotta be healed to where you can put some weight on
I
it.
gotta be, well, it's gotta be healed.
Okay.
Right
Yeah, I
now,
saw the
see,
malware
I've got
back
this,
and told her,
that the,
you know, about-
where's the, this
about
here
running both
is,
services and then split them off.
is a negative
She
pressure
just worried
wound
about
back.
cost.
That it's,
So-
and it
Would she be
has
square
a
if we-
negative point